folks, and welcome back for another episode of Our Journeys. But first, before we get into the games, as you may have seen from the thumbnail, we have a tournament announcement, and it was conceived of and is sponsored by Tusk Shadows, that is his in-game name, or Tusk the Talking Crab. The idea is this. It is called Shred for the Bread. So there are two prizes, one's for $40, one's for $30. Essentially, it goes thusly. Between now and the 20th of May, you need to compile 5 games that show you shredding in game. We are going to select the top 8 scorers of the shred. So when we're watching through, we're looking for how many cards you shred at a time and average them over those 5 games. And the folks with the 8 highest shred count will get into the tournament. The tournament, the grand prize is a $30 gift card, again brought to you by Tusk, and in that tournament, you'll be able to play the decks that your shred decks, and at that point, it's just whoever wins. You don't have to have a high shred count. In theory, that would be a win condition, but pretty much just winning with a deck that is built around the shred mechanic. The $40 gift card is going to be for the winner of the essentially who has the niftiest shred. And admittedly, that is a little bit subjective. We don't have a numerical way to determine that. Ultimately, Tusk is going to have the final say in that because it is his tournament. If you want more information on exactly what he's looking for, you can reach out to him. But he pretty much said the idea is if you play Soul Shred, you banish like 30 cards and your opponent just rage quits, or you play it and it causes them to mill into defeat, within the next few turns. Something like that, where it really shows the shred mechanic shredding the opponent's deck. That's essentially what he's looking for. And the closest thing to that, a win with the shred deck, because it may be hard. It may be difficult to pull off a win while also trying to shred. So it's a little nuanced in terms of that sort of thing, but we are going to kind of use scoring as a way to whittle it down to like the top 10 or so that he's going to then look over and try to sort through and determine which one he thinks resembles the heart of the deck the best. Again, if you have any questions, you can certainly ask me on the Discord or in the comments, and I will probably direct them to the questions to Tusk, as he will be the one. We have 3 weeks essentially to sort through it. Ideally you go, okay, I'm submitting this as my shredded deck. And you're able to, between all the cards, you were able to banish like 60 cards. That's going to be a pretty high contender, for that $40 prize. But then also that combined with, if you have 4 other games that also have high shred, that probably will get you in the tournament as well, and you can compete for the top prize there. So again, it's a little murky. We're just trying to. It's two different pools essentially. So if you just play the decks very well and you're able to shred a lot of cards, you get in the tournament, you're vying for that $30 gift card. And if you just have an amazing game where you achieve victory through the shreddiest way possible. I know I'm abusing that word a lot, I do apologize, but hey, it's just, and oh man, if I had my brain right now, I could make up a bunch of puns, but let's just get straight to it. So that's that. So again, you have until May 20th, and the only challenge you're going to have really is trying to, is how to submit the deck. Now, I do have a Dropbox, and so if you want to submit, whether you can contact me through Discord, or we can do a private message, on YouTube, direct message or what have you. And essentially I can give you a place to upload them. If you can't record your own games, and they don't have to have sound even, literally we just need to see you doing the thing in the game so that we can count it up. And you can help us out by saying this is a 14 count shred, this is a 20 count shred game, what have you. But we'll look over it and review it to make sure it's above board. If you can't record your own games, you can reach out to me and I will do the best I can, either to do it myself or to reach out to other folks who are capable of recording and see if we can schedule a time. And, we may not be able to get with you a bunch of times. We may only have one session. So we'll say, hey, you got 5 games. We can spectate all of them, and hopefully you're able to get some good shreds in there. So if you're not able to record your own, it's going to be a limited amount you're at a slight disadvantage just because you're not going to have as big of a game pool to pull from. You may only get those 5 games or so, and you go with what you got there. Whereas somebody who can record their games, they can, just play 300 games and pick the top 5. So it's a little rocky in that regard, but it's kind of an impromptu way of, like Tusk said, to change up the meta a little bit, or at least encourage people to be thinking outside the box and looking at cards that otherwise don't get a lot of love. But anyway, that's the tournament. I'll post a graphic that you probably are seeing at this point, have been seeing, that has all the rules on it, and then it'll also be in the Discord as well. With all that said, let's jump into it with Tusk. He is going to be, you'll hear us talking about the mechanics of a little bit, kind of showing the decks, showing what he's trying to do, what he has been trying to do. Hopefully get your creative juices flowing, get you inspired, and you can go out and create your own, and we'll see what you can do, and if you can, in fact, shred for the bread. And now let's start watching some games. Alrighty, first game with Tusk Shadows, and he's going to be running the Assassin version of the Soul Shred deck, and I am running a Redoran deck of sorts with some stuff in it. I'm not entirely sure, but we're gonna. This is mainly to see how the shredding happens, so we'll give you all the demo on that. I
just want a chance to prove myself.
Wait, what?
What's up?
Oh, never mind.
Misplay.
I haven't played. I thought that was a hand buff thing. All right, so we're off to a fun start. All right, pointy wall. So, Tusk, what was your inspiration or your motivation for the
for the concept?
Yeah.
Okay, so there is nothing in the game besides Soul Shred that takes cards away from your opponent without basically milling their deck.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I bet you this concept could be really strong and people just don't play it. And then I made a deck, and it was like a rough draft version. It had 0 curve. It was like, I'd like to say 23 costs, and then the 3/5 drops and all that. Yep. So I was like, maybe this won't work, maybe it will. I played one match, and I got a decent proc because it had a slow Empire, slow Telvanni build crap,
Right.
And I deleted 30 cards from his deck.
Ooh, jeez.
On one good turn. And I was sitting there I don't even know what I got rid of. My opponent doesn't know what I got rid of. I did learn yesterday, if you're a spectator though, you can see what's deleted.
Oh, really?
It's interesting. I don't know how that works, but
okay.
I did learn that yesterday because Meek was watching me and Frequency play, and
don't underestimate.
He's the hovering, the catalog history at the top left.
Yep.
He hovered the card and it showed all the cards it deleted apparently.
Oh my gosh. All 30 of them?
I didn't delete 30 from Frequency. I think I banished 10 cards in a turn, but it showed all the cards I banished. He was running Crusader. I ended up banishing the draw power card. Mm-hmm. I ended up banishing a bunch of really good creatures, low cost aggro kind of creatures.
Jeez.
So I was maybe this concept does work.
We of the rich adapt and survive.
But it's situational,
Right. But so essentially you wanted to give it some love.
And that's when I made the Battle Mage version. Because with the support and Fiery Imp and stuff like that, not only are you hitting face before you're actually using your creatures, but you're getting say you have 4 creatures on the board. You just got 4 procs for free.
Right. Yeah. So what is to this point? What is the max? What is your max burn or shred? I call it.
If you have 10 mana, you can play 2 Soul Shreds in one turn, as long as you have a good setup on your board. And it shreds more based on your opponent's attributes, obviously.
Right.
I think the best one I had was either 20 or 40 cards in one turn.
Oh my gosh. Jeez.
Somewhere near 50. So I can't really remember because I was playing against Tri-Attribute. He had 100 cards in his deck, and when I checked after I did it, he only had 50.
Okay. All right. So that's so folks, it is possible to get well over double digits. I mean, anywhere up to possibly, like he was saying, 50, but even 25 or 30 in one turn, that's incredible, especially when if your opponent is running a deck that is heavily dependent on one or two cards, i.e. Allied Guardians. And there's a lot of decks that are just, I'm not going to say absolute trash, but they're not all that great without those Guardians.
They're just gimmicky at that point.
Yeah.
When they constantly run the same things over and over and over.
All right. What are we doing here?
The only thing that I've had an issue with is drawing the card when I have my board set up. Mm-hmm. Or having board set up and having the card in hand, but not having enough mana to do anything with it, or my opponent wiping their board control,
Right.
But if you can manage to stall, to the late game when people are barely drawing any cards and you're running dual attribute. Mm-hmm. Say late game, you can survive till they have 40 or 35 cards left in their deck.
Right.
If you can shred all those answers, they can't do anything.
Yeah. Have you ever had anybody? Have you ever burned anybody out where you see that the skull of death with saying they're at the end of their deck?
Yeah, I have.
Nice.
And that's really satisfying when they can't draw. So it's like you have no options. Why don't you just surrender?
Yeah.
But it kind of plays in between board control, aggro, and then a little. It's not control deck, but it's more you're stalling to burn.
Right. And we had talked about initially. So the qualifications for the tournament is, and we hadn't actually talked about this. We're kind of working this out as we go. Initially, it was if you have you're essentially just going for the number of games with the highest shred count possible. You're trying to take your top 5, we'll combine those, average them together, and the people with the highest shredding amount will get preference. Now, do we want to do wins or a tiebreaker, or do you want it has to be a win in order to count the amount of shredding that happened?
I don't you don't even have to win the match necessarily. Okay. Uh-huh. I would just say as long as you can shred at least 10 to 20 cards from their deck, because you're running 3 copies,
Right. Okay.
That'd be the base qualifications.
Cool. No, I like that. I think that'll work. So you don't necessarily have to. You don't have to win. You're going for the shred initially, but the key is to win the tournament. You're gonna and we doing that as well, where it's pretty much whatever decks they submit the runs with. Those are the decks they need to bring to the tournament.
I'm sure they'll possibly work out or change their deck eventually, or work a better route, better style of deck. So right. I wouldn't limit it that way, in my opinion.
Okay. Well, my only I wouldn't say concern. My only consideration is if getting into the tournament is only based on being able to shred, you could construct a deck that may not be very viable from a win perspective, but it's going to be amazing for getting those shred points. And then they change over to a deck that that features the shred card, but isn't necessarily really geared to maximize that. So because it would be 2 different builds. So if we don't keep that consistent, my concern would just be that they would. But again, this is your deal. So if you're saying, you know what, that's fine, the decks are going to evolve anyway, which I think is a really good point. Then we don't have to be such a stickler about it, and just trust that in general people are going to want to play with the deck that they've won. You're going to want to play with the deck that you got to the.
In my understanding, it's a card that people barely even use, so it's just fun having people think about using it.
Right.
Confound you!
Oh no.
Since I'm half to stalling right now.
Tawaka watches over me.
Oh, that's not good.
Wait.
Yeah, so I'm trying to obviously I don't want to nerf the actual game, but understanding that we are trying to show what the deck can do. I'm
trying to find the card. That's the only issue right now. I have the setup for the cards in my hand. I just don't have the card yet.
Do you run like Lyneth or any other card that can help
I will cleanse
fetch the
dark
card?
stain of necromancy from Tamriel.
Does that answer your question?
Well, once you have it.
In this deck, it's Hannibal. What is it called? Traven.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this one's Hannibal Traven, more Drain Assassin based, so you can stall for it. But
Right.
the assassin part of it is cards that can hit face regardless if they can't go through a guard.
Right. Okay, so do you have the bigger werebat, the 5 cost that pings if you have a?
I didn't put it in this variant because
Okay.
it's just it's not consistent enough with the drain.
Right.
Because most of the time with Doomfang, I get ward and lethal, so I can't really proc with that, even though it's like a,
Yeah.
like an early game drop.
Yeah. Aside from like Traven, you don't really have a whole lot of beefy guys.
The Battle Mage version is a lot more aggro based, but it can essentially you can proc it 8 times in a turn and then 8 times again if you have full board set up.
Ooh. All right. So do we want to try to show that off, or do you want me to just play it straight? How do you want to?
It's up to you. You can play it straight. I'm just kind of trying to find the card at the moment.
Yeah.
I have draw, but that withered hand really kind of cucks me at the moment.
Well,
You have met your end.
let's see.
Don't make me laugh. We stand united. I'll take them with me. Let them die with their false kings. Confound you.
Got our value out of that.
Die, turns.
That is also really bad for me, but good on you for drawing.
Wait, which is? What is?
The draw power.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is, in theory, based off the cards I'm seeing, I think this is supposed to be played just pure aggro, but I've been mid-ranging it a little bit more.
I just can't find this card. It's nutty.
I think next game I'll run like my Control Alt Delete, which is, at least in theory, supposed to be more of a control deck, because I think it was that was part of it too. It was a lot of, I think, like when we talked before, a lot of the like Alduin graveyard regurgitation that we've seen.
Oh my god, I absolutely, without swearing as much as possible, I absolutely hate people that run Reanimate Alduin or Dragon decks, because it's just the same generic crap over and over and over.
Yeah, so that was part of the impetus. So, whereas, and I guess, so you've, is this deck, is the deck that you've built, is it designed to be able to pivot to the aggression if you need to close the game out?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's what the healing is for. The Dren for a good 4-drop guard, the stalls, At this point, like, I think it's at the bottom of my deck, but at this point, I should be having it in my hand.
Right.
That's another really good stalling card. Crap.
So sweet, I could just eat you up.
Sorry. This is probably not the best. Like I said,
It's fine. I'm just, I'm not used to, like, commentating.
Right. Yeah. No. And trust me, folks. For anybody who has not done this yet, for those of you who have, and those of you who haven't, you will find out if you do it. It is very difficult to focus on 2 things, and also I forgot to mention it, but he is also playing with a migraine that he's had all day, well, all night too, right? Like overnight.
Yeah.
So yeah. So he's diminished capacity at this point considerably. And then, yeah, it's very difficult. I mean, I'm impressed when there are folks who are able to, when they do actually play really well. Tell you what, I mean, again, this is supposed to showcase. You've got 3 copies of it, right?
Yeah, I have 3 in deck.
Okay, all right.
Every variant that I make, I always have 3 in deck.
Okay, all right. Then we'll go ahead and get our house Carl down here.
I know a shortcut.
And
Another good counter.
get rid of that sweet roll. That seems fitting that he eats his own sweet roll. And we'll see if we can get Shred.
Oh, come on, draw Shred. What the heck?
Did you run like fresh start or anything? Oh,
Yeah, I have
Camelot,
2 copies. 2
Okay.
copies of Fresh Start.
All right, so you are just getting the J Money Schwaaard draw right now.
Yeah, that sounds about right. This is looking like my draws in ranked right now.
I feel that pain. Oh, there you go. Wait, no. Oh, is that what happens when he dies? It comes off as a... I don't think I've ever seen that. Okay, so it looks like... Oh, no. I think Tiago had a game where he did that, but I'm just not used to seeing it. So I didn't realize it kind of manifests as a bunch of... whatchamacallit?
It works like Siege.
Yeah.
That's why I thought it would be a good addition, because if you can essentially like stack other cards that hit, like I just did, I don't know, 5 procs in that one instance.
Yeah.
So if I would have been able to play it, that would have been I think 15 cards from your deck.
Right, and well, now this is it's a 3. Let's see, how many?
It says it in the card description, and I don't have it in my hand, so I can't read it off rip.
Yeah, no, I was trying to see how many cards I have total, like, left.
You have 44 left in deck.
Right. Yeah. So a two soul shreds, even just 2. Well, I wouldn't say vanilla. They would. You'd have to get those things. Yeah. Those guys are really good for it too.
Exactly. And they give me draw power, which I really want to just draw it and show it off. I just can't find the freaking card.
Here you've been looking for.
And what was it? Because obviously this is it's one thing to say, hey, throw down the gauntlet, say, hey, I'd like to see some people try to make good use of this card, try to make it viable, or try to use it to its what I believe its capacity is. What inspired you to make it a tournament, like an actual?
I just thought it would be like good for like the community. We haven't had a tournament in a long time,
Yeah.
It's only the usual suspects and voice call and stuff like that. Like more fun, I guess.
Yeah.
More inspiring people to build differently instead of run the same meta garbage over and over.
Sure. All right, and which is, it's a very strong impetus. That's why, it's a working title, Shred for the Bread, but that's the idea. Is there's actually there's reward in it for you.
I do have lethal right now, which really sucks because I still haven't drawn it.
That's all right, man. I'd say go for it. We'll start a fresh game.
But the concept of the deck still works without it. It's just to help like mill something that you don't want to see. Like Sorcerer's Skeleton is probably the strongest because every skeleton-based card summons more skeletons. It buffs your board. You have automatic like free sacrificial targets for Mushroom Tower if you have Soul Shred in hand, and that's a double proc in 1 turn. Also with the aggro of a full board of skeletons.
Right.
So I think in Sorc it's probably the strongest.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't own I'd say every legendary skeleton card or epic skeleton card, I don't own it.
Oh jeez.
So I can't even run it.
Yeah, that's the thing with this with the a more specialized deck. It took me I don't know how long because I remember I was trying to get the Lich card back, and you have to summon skeletons, and I had to craft a ton of them, and even then I didn't have Bone Colossus or any of the really big ones. The highest I think I had was an epic. It's just
but that's also the thing about it too. If you have Bone Colossus, you get 3 sacrificial copies on your board just off rip, and that's also a full lane, which is 4 hits.
Yeah. That would be beautiful. So, but I'm guessing you do not have a Skeledaddy.
No, I don't know. I'm missing a lot of cards, but that is definitely in the top stuff I'm still missing. I still don't own a copy of Thurana.
A what?
I still don't even own a copy of Thurana yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And how long have you been? How long have you been at Legends?
Since it came out, but I played off and on between work and life.
Gotcha.
Then I took a hiatus for a while because I didn't have a community to play it, so I was just on my own trying to make decks on my own.
Right. And
then I think I got really tilted one day. I think I was playing against Alduin, and then not Invade, but I think it was Alduin, and then Expertise, and then Aggro, then Crusader. It was just a bunch of like ridiculous aggro in a row. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a scout deck that is called Mana Legendary Lethal.
Mana Legendary Lethal. Oh, wait. So what did that all entail?
It's as it sounds. I can stall. I have draw power. It's got Ungolem. It has Razum in it. It's got Aliads in it. I have max mana ramp in it. It's got Squish the Wimpy. Like it's generally designed to counter you.
Hmm. And how did that
like
do?
I went to Legends.
Nice.
I literally, I think I played like, I did like 2 days of like 6-hour sessions and I hit Legends.
Holy cow. Wow. And were you able to repeat that success? Because I know for me, like I had a Sorcerer deck. The first time I ever got to Legends was on the back of a Sorcerer deck, and I tried to run it the next season, and I couldn't buy a win with the darn thing. So I didn't know if you were able to, if that deck stood up to previous seasons or to future seasons.
I was stuck in, I'd like to say, I think after I took like a hiatus from the game for like 4 to 6 months, and that's when Invade got introduced.
Ah, you were away when Invade came.
And then, yeah, I became a sweaty Invade player and got to Legends that way.
You should not admit that out loud, my friend. That is that is.
I used to be a sweaty Invade player. I'm not even kidding. I'd run Mage with Invade, and by turn 5, I could have a level, like a 20 health gate on a good turn.
Wow.
You will regret your heresy.
Most of the people would see that and they're like insta surrender. Most of the people would try to play it out, but I'd remove or swarm the board. There we go. Now I finally have it in hand.
Hey! Shred! Shred!
There you go. Have that back.
I don't want him. He's dumb. Alright. Whoops. Yeah, that was a bit of a misplay. Oh well. My math is not so great.
It's fine.
Oh yeah.
This day is mine.
Freaking Harpy.
As you can see, this is more aggro variant.
Oh yeah.
All right, men, on me.
I've called in the general.
Awaiting your command.
The Dollar General.
I have your orders. I live to serve.
Let's see. Probably should have played him.
Preparations have been made.
Come on. Let's see if we can draw another one. Draw me another one. Nope. Okay. So we do this. And since you're running, it's for each attribute your opponent is playing, so you're running 3. Banish 3 cards plus 1 per, you know.
Face. So you got one with the giant. Card goes down. 2. Wow. So this is gonna be what?
Knave.
A lot. Oh. And another one. And there it is.
You just lost 18 cards.
Was it okay? So it said 6.
It's per attribute.
Oh, per attribute. Oh, there you go.
That's what I mean. That's 20 cards in a turn.
Wow. So yeah, let me see. I now have. Oh wait, crap. What am I? I thought I was supposed to look at that.
You're at 38 now.
Ooh wee.
You gotta tap. You tap on your deck.
Yeah, I'm tapping it. It's not doing anything. It's grayed out. That's weird.
Might be a bug.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I just hover over it, I think.
Yeah, and
there
that'd
we
be
go.
different because for mobile I have to tap on it.
Gotcha. Okay. Wow. Yeah, this is. That's,
You can see where doing that 2 times in a turn could be really dangerous.
oh yeah. Oh.
And I'm still sitting on Let's see. I'm sitting on 36, and you're tied with me, and you're in tricolor.
Yeah.
The tribunal.
The only thing that sucks is like in Battle Mage, I don't have a lot of draw. There's not really a lot of cards that you can put in for draw in Red Blue.
Right.
So that's where it would fall short in Battle Mage. However, like early game aggro, if you have the support, if you have at least 3 creatures on board, that's 6 procs in a turn, you can literally do a lot worse.
Oh yeah.
And then I have cards that dual summon.
The light of the three.
So I'm trying to look at what you've been. I've been paying attention, but like, okay, so obviously in Battle Mage, like pure Battle Mage, you typically don't see like your Cruel Fire Bloom, Brutal Ashlander. You might actually see Soul Split, particularly combined with that. So really, this is not, aside from Soul Shred, you're not really breaking. In other words, you don't have to break down a deck or play a bunch of odd job cards in order to make this thing work.
Essentially, I played against Banana Schwaaard the other day. I told you yesterday.
Yep.
Well, he was running both a Singleton Sork and his Skeleton Sork. And even if you took like 3 cards, like 1 of each copy of whatever he's running out, and just put Soul Shred in it, it would still work. You could essentially just swap out cards.
Wow.
And not even change your engine at all.
Which is, so that's great news for folks looking to build the deck. You're not going to have to build around the mechanic in order to make this work.
Exactly.
The douche, yeah, the douche does double duty. Is he can just ping face if that's what you're.
That's 12.
Ooh, yeah. Look, see, I'm down to 24 cards left. Jeez.
It's mainly like if you can stall out till like late game. I mean, this is bad. This is bad for me. I'm obviously going to lose. But if you can stall out for like late game, especially on mono card or not mono, dual, like we're only getting maybe like 1 to 2 cards a turn.
Right.
And they have, I don't know, like how would I say this? Maybe like by turn 10 to 12, they probably have around 40 to 32 cards in their deck. Well, if I remove 14 plus 20, that's 34, and then you have 2 cards left.
Right.
So it's like oppressive in that manner.
And I will say, like, for as rare and difficult as it is to, oh shoot, sorry. I mean, obviously, I'm not diminishing other win conditions, but I think burning through a deck, like getting somebody to what is it? There's a term for that. When you, I thought there was a term for it.
It's in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's called banishing. In this, it'd be called milling.
Milling, that's it. Milling. Oh, take that, memory rate. Haha. Let's see. Yeah, so it would be the equivalent of or being able to mill an opponent. I think I see that even less than pretty much any other win condition, especially thanks to folks like Inu, who have made Unite wins incredibly common.
I think Unite the Houses is gonna be next month for me.
Really?
Yeah, all Unite the Houses all month.
Wait, what was it? What was the condition?
Next month's deck that I'm only going to play or try to make viable is Unite the Houses.
Nice. And I mean, the good thing about that too, at least from my perspective, I'll just go ahead and do this. Is like again, I've seen players use it very well and actually do very well with it, but it's not a deck that I would necessarily expect to win with. So I think it takes the losses out of it a little bit, where you're going, okay, yeah, I lost trying to unite the houses. It's a noble death. Whereas if I'm playing like a try-hard battle mage or something, or whatever deck, when I lose, and I'm like, for crying out loud, I can't win. Even when I play a deck that should be able to win, I can't even buy a win. So
right now, I'm drawing like shit.
Right.
There's no other way to say it. Like, I'm just drawing just really, like, control or aggro-based things without the stuff I'm looking for.
Yeah. Yeah, I know the pain. Oh. Oh, okay, this is an undead. So, I did not choose one on purpose. It just, the deck name said I'm Not Dead, which is a Monty Python reference, and I wasn't sure exactly what it was, but it's Sorcerer. And it turns out it's a Skelly deck, so you're gonna see a bunch of the cards.
That'll make it more interesting. I rarely ever play against skeletons. And when I do, I can usually last till about, like, turn 9, turn 12 sometimes, but it's usually just board aggro.
I was gonna say, well, yeah, that's usually when they've always got Bone Colossus in hand on turn 7.
I think the most interesting version I've seen of Skellies is Consume with Skellies.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think that has a natural synergy with Skeleton.
Right now, it's just looking like aggro.
Right? Yeah. Especially with this big boy.
Oh gosh. You have also the that's shackle after attack, right? No, enemy creature. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is part of the deck that makes it really strong.
Hey, yes, that's it. Rimmen Siege Weapon. We were trying to think of that yesterday on the call. Neither one of us could remember. Siege. Oh, nice dual shackle. But I have
the only thing that would counter that is Dren.
Is what?
The Dren guard in one turn.
Oh, right.
Because then you get both shackle. You wouldn't have to silence it. You could just infinitely not be shackled.
Yep.
But that's the essential concept of that support right there. Is I get 3 hits, so that's 3 procs. I have 3 on board, so that's 3 more procs. That's 6 procs in a turn.
Do you have Shred?
You're running... No, I don't have it in my hand. I wish. It would be fantastic if I had it in my hand.
Yeah.
My paws are quicker than your eyes.
Which one would be the better option here? Thinking this.
Die, Outlander.
Yep, I got the good RNG there.
Nice. Alright, what do we got here? Whoa,
and
whoa.
because it has Pilfer, I'll automatically be able to, like, card trade every turn.
Right.
I both love that card, and it's barely ever used.
The Miss Kararan Lich?
The Miss Karkand Lich.
There
is
you
how
go.
to say that.
Oh, it's if the creature's alive. I thought if it was dead. Oh,
Too slow.
darn you,
That's
Lich.
prophecy.
Oh, you're shifty nonsense.
I'm thinking that was a prophecy I just pulled. Nope. Okay, it's not prophecy.
No, she's deceptive like that. It makes you feel like you hit a prophecy, but it's just the game going, oh, you need to do your
actually on mobile, I'm not sure if the same as on PC or whatnot, but if you hit their face and then you go to end turn and your turn does not end, you can find prophecies that way.
Oh, okay.
It's like it almost makes a different like animation, but it doesn't. Oh, please. Nope, still don't have it. I'm definitely not getting rid of that card though.
All right, so for you folks that are going to take up the challenge, you need to be workshopping ways to either tutor or just get a crap ton of draw while keeping your deck viable, because it looks like the biggest bane of the build is just finding the darn card.
That's the issue I usually have with most things. It's just like, can't find the frickin' card I want right now.
Yeah. But the good news...
And I have perfect setup for it right now, too.
Oh, yeah, especially with the Rimmen.
The Imp, with Fiery Imp, that hits 3 times in 1 turn. Because of the support.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. really got anything fantabulastic to play, so... Ouch! Ouch! Darn these imp and cat team-ups.
Please! Nope, still didn't drop.
But this is the good news for you folks. Again, trying to, if you're trying to get to the tournament, again, you don't necessarily have to win, or not. You don't necessarily. You don't have to win. Your goal really is just to maximize your shredding. So however you do that. So if you're like, look, I had to put a bunch of draw cards and a bunch of X, Y, and Z cards in there to make this thing work. Now that may not help you win the tournament,
wait. Can you hear me now?
Yep. Yeah, I got you.
My boss is texting me, so my game might have crashed.
Oh, gotcha.
So I might have to relog into the game.
All right.
I don't know why my phone, it's just... For any viewers out there, please tell me how I'm supposed to make an LG Stylo 6 run faster.
A what? Oh.
Like, certain card animations, you know, like Ice Storm?
Mm-hmm.
That can make my phone crash.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Or Frost Scale Dragon, some reason with the animation, and I can't change, graphics in game. It's not an option.
Yeah. There's no low graphic settings. Just let me know when you are back in. I don't want to pass the turn until you get back.
Just maybe about 20 to 30 more seconds.
Alrighty. Yeah, I gotta do this.
You know, it's really kind of ironically hilarious.
What's that?
My boss is asking me to go to his house to smoke weed right now.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
Where I live, that weed is 100% recreationally legal, and I also have a med card for it. So.
Oh, nice. Well, I'll tell you. I mean, we've got, like I said, I'm putting together the graphics for it, but we've got some gameplay. Got to see it at least there. So if you're going, hey, my head's splitting, or I'd like to go, process this in my own way. I mean, I was gonna do,
I'm back. I'm back again.
All right, cool.
I'm good. I'm not trying to blow him off, but I just don't feel like walking right now.
I hear you.
Please, Soul Shred. Please draw Soul Shred. No, it's not Soul Shred. That feels bad. I can, however... Oh, there we go! I just drew it. Just drew it.
Nice!
I'm just gonna do this so I get another proc. So that's 7. If you were running Try, you would have lost 21 cards on this turn. But you lost 14.
Yep.
You can see where, like, against mono, that's really dangerous if they're running 50.
Oh yeah. For sure. Holy cow. Oh, that's it. I only run one support. I was like waiting for the rest of it to come out. Like, behold my... Oh gosh. That was the worst siege ever.
But you can see what I removed.
Oh,
because you only got 2 cards off siege. You're supposed to
oh,
get 4.
Right.
Everything was taken from me.
Yeah.
Today,
You can see where it's really viable.
Well, yeah, I'm down to 16 now.
I'm still at 30 health. You're at 16 cards. I got 33 left in deck.
All right.
Like the battle mage is more consistent, but it's also because of the support.
Right. Yeah.
Come on, another one. Damn.
We'll see how they like someone who fights back.
That's a good answer to that.
Oh, the pings. The pings. So just a refresher for folks. So, yeah, essentially, like I said, you're trying to shred as many times as possible, which, as he said, with like the Sorcerer deck, if you're running Mushroom Tower, that's going to enable more shreds. If you've got, whatever that guy's name is, Hannibal.
Now, who the hell is that texting me?
Everybody wants to hang out now that you're not feeling well.
Yeah, my boss must be wanting to talk or really bored because he's asking to play a game of dice too.
Oh, jeez.
The game of dice is pretty entertaining though. You get 5 dice. Ones count as 100, 5s count as 50. Mm-hmm. Anything like if you get 3 of one. Like, say you get 3 6s, that's 600. That's how it works.
Oh, wow.
If you have to get 750 to even start, like, taking score per turn. It's really interesting. But it's also constantly math, because I'm the one that usually keeps score.
Oh.
You would not believe how many times I've screwed up a simple math equation in my head because of a 50.
Oh, really? A 50?
Mm-hmm. Like, in one turn, last time I played against him, in one turn, if you get, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or in, like, that numerical order, that's a straight, that's 1,500.
Oh, jeez.
I smell the stench.
And then you're still rolling, because you have points, but you have to claim the points. In order to claim the points, you have to have 3 dice that have score, and then you like tap out on that. But if you roll, say you roll like I'm gonna lose my train of thought. I hate migraines.
Mm-hmm.
If you roll 2s, like 2, 4, and 6, but none of them have like 3 pairs of that 2, 4, and 6, then you lose your turn.
Okay.
Or 3, because like the rest of the numbers don't have a base value unless you get combinations or straights.
I gotcha.
And I also have another one in my hand right now. So goodbye to those 8 cards in your deck.
Oh. Okay, I'm gonna have to. I want to do the thing. So let's. So
you have 2 cards left in your entire deck.
Yep.
Right now.
I don't have another way to. Let's see.
You can always stall it out, but that's the whole concept. Is you're milling your opponent so they do not have options.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're gonna win technically for board, but for the concept, this is great because you can actually see what I'm talking about. Like I just milled everything out of your deck.
Yeah, and I think next turn I just lose.
No, you have to have 0 in deck before it hits you for Font Rune.
Oh, okay. So I got one more turn then. All right.
Yep.
Let's see.
Die, abomination.
The only things that could possibly counter this deck, I'd say, would be like Elusive Schwemmer, Bandaris, but you know that's why you have Piercing Twilight.
Mm-hmm.
So this turn, you should draw Death.
Right.
And it doesn't matter how much health you have either. Another great reason why I wanted to make it more of a tournament is because I want to see the best, sweatiest version of it, where it's just on every turn you can take 20 cards from them.
Right. Yeah, and that's so I know in the community we got a ton of great deck builders in general that are just great at coming up with weird and wacky things.
We have Toddbringer, we have Amarillo, we have Frequency, we have
Vincenzo,
Ross, East City, Vincenzo, Kevin, Meek. Like there's at least 20 or 30 people. I could just keep going that make unique decks in their own way.
Yep. Fluffy Fries 99. He's always looking for some some fresh shenanigans to get into. So, yeah.
Jeez, this is Singleton Guildsworn.
Yeah, this is Enu's list. This is Enu's Singleton, or Enu's Unite.
Was taken from me. Today,
I don't know. I mean, I
Hopefully I
have
can-
played Unite in the past, but I haven't played it in a long time.
Someone who fights back.
Hopefully I can draw Soul Shred early.
Don't-
And really show you like the capabilities against like Tricolor.
Well, and I mean, for honestly, if somebody soul shredded, I would say 10 cards, 12 cards, and I was running a Unite deck, I would probably concede just because the chances of them, especially if it's a Singleton, which I don't think this one is, but I know Enu does have that Singleton list. You know, it's like, why bother? I mean, the chances that you burn something that I really need, i.e. Unite, are pretty good.
Exactly. And it's like, it's not just for like getting rid of creatures or actions or items or supports. It hits everything. It's not like specifically stated in the card.
Yeah.
We're gonna do this.
keep your distance.
My Harpy. She shrieks.
I will taste blood.
I will taste blood.
All right, let's see here.
It's so fun to imitate some of these cards.
Yeah.
When I was, little tidbit about me, I was growing up, I used to play a lot of Halo. Mm-hmm. The first thing that got me into voice impressions was imitating when the elites or the arbiter died.
Oh, really? What is that? I think I think I would appreciate it more if I like I don't know what that sounds like myself, but
To oblivion with you.
I mean,
There's about, I think, like 8 or 9 like voice line death sounds for it. I've memorized them all.
Command and rise.
oh jeez.
Because I used to make the game extremely hard for no reason. Like I put it on easy, but I turn almost all of the skulls on.
Oh.
And then I'd jump to legendary with no skulls on and just run through legendary like it didn't exist.
Oh jeez.
Do not test me, knave.
Be silent.
How I mean, did you? Because I know didn't they come out with a new Halo like not too long ago? Halo
I played a
Infinite
console.
was it?
Yeah, Halo Infinite's actually pretty fun, but I haven't played on a console in a long time.
Gotcha.
I think the last time I was on console, I was still like top 50, top 100, and top 1,000 in Modern Warfare 3.
Oh jeez. That's a long time
Yeah,
ago,
still-
but also
I-
very impressive.
Yeah. I still have a game clip on YouTube that was uploaded in a contest, but someone deleted their channel, but it's on YouTube. It still exists. Mm-hmm. I can make a semi-automatic 30-round clip disappear in less than like 1.5 seconds.
That's just how you the build out or the loadout that you
Yeah,
used?
I loved using semi-automatic weapons. That was my shtick. Like I could run around, like a average Call of Duty term, but Magnum 357 has 6 rounds in a clip, right? Mm-hmm. I could shoot that faster than an AA-12 shotgun.
Holy cow.
So you imagine turning the corner, you get hit with 6 bullets in less than a second. I'd say good luck and have fun, everybody, but I want to ultimately change the ranked meta, because no one uses this card, and it's extremely viable, and no one sees it. That's really all I got to add to it.
Awesome. And okay, so for when I'm doing the beginning, are you okay with the little bits that I provided in the the Discord?
everything you did was fine.
Okay.
I'm not bothered by any of it.
Cool. All right, then I'll use that as the opening pitch to kind of give people the bullet breakdown, so that they know exactly what to get in. And then it's just going to be trying to figure out or getting as many people to be able to submit games as possible. But that'll be something with essentially 3 weeks. I think they'll be able to figure it out. So
Exactly, and it's plenty of time, plus the tournament that's going to come up at the end of the month, which will be more fun than just, instilling the running, because then you get to face your friend's version, and from your version to their version, you can understand a different or dual of, like a collection of ideas.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Awesome, man. Well, I'm excited. Like I said, this will be hitting Friday morning. Yeah, we'll hopefully start seeing some action there, and I'll promote it pretty much every video. I'll give a shout out to it before I just remind people that it's going on, and to reach out if they're trying to figure out, if they have any questions or anything, and I'll get a graphic posted in the Discord, like it's kind of just a general tournament rules kind of thing.
Yep.
Awesome, and the again the prize you said is like it's a gift card, essentially a gift card for first and second place.
I'm thinking I wanted to change that and talk to you about it, but
okay.
I'm thinking if they can provide a clip where they shred like that, like what I showed you earlier. But if they can provide a clip where they win or shred so many cards that their opponent surrenders just off rip or something like that, and they can do it consistently, then the first place winner of the video submissions will get $40, and then for the tournament, whoever comes in first place, like wins out of all of us, will get $30.
Okay, so first place for tournament 30, and best shred with a win video 40.
Yep.
And ultimately, is it okay if we say like you will be, because it's your tournament, you will be the ultimate, like we can say, hey, here's some candidates like me and whoever judges, but ultimately because it is your deal, I'd like to say that it's going to be ultimately your decision on which one is best, because I mean there's a lot of subjective contests out there, because I mean there could be like 3 or 4 people that submit crazy cool shred. No, you said consistently, so you mean like all 5 games have to show that?
I mean, like that'd be like the like top tier. That'd be first place,
Right.
But they're obviously going to submit a lot of videos to you, and it's it'd be on you or me to review them, and I don't have access. All I got is a phone.
Right. Well, no, I mean, because I can essentially scrub through. Like, I wouldn't have the time to sit and watch, however many games we're gonna get. But I can go through and see like the soul shred and kind of check the games out, and then I can essentially say, okay, here's probably I would say the ground level is the amount for like if there's like 10 people or 10 games with that shred 20 or higher, like I'll jump to those and then go through and find the most spectacular, maybe top 5 or something, and then send them your way.
Like outplay wise, you're also outplaying your opponent because they don't have access to options. But if you can outplay your opponent in one turn and 2 shreds and then get victory, that'd be what I'm looking for.
Okay. Okay, so whether it's concession or whether it just burns them down to 0.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like even if like necessarily like their deck isn't like shredding them as much, that those people still have a chance because they built a deck around it.
Right. Okay. Oh, but so the shredding doesn't have to be a win condition. That's ideal, but they're still viable if they have just a great win with a shred deck.
Yes.
Okay.
The participation is what I really want to instill, because it instills like different thinking and new strategies. Restless Storm in the server is top 10 in the entire game. Ami was rank 1 last season. Most all of our players are either I'd like to say above rank 7 or higher, or in Legends already. So getting them to run it in Legends against people that are running, the sweatiest generic thing, well, you can't run it if you don't have the card.
Yep. It's removing the sweat.
Exactly. And that changes the meta, because then people are like, well, this card is weird, but it's viable. And they're like, maybe I should run a different variant of meta. And then that actually changes the entire meta in all the ranks. And that's what I want. But yeah, and back to like the deck in the game, like the concept of it that's hard is draw power.
Right.
I might even think Mage would be good in it, but I haven't tested it yet.
There's a plan. There's always a plan.
Well, that would be the next up on the agenda then.
Double proc. Please, please, please. Yes. Now we drew it.
Nice.
Too slow.
So that's 15 cards.
Ooh. Yep, I'm running low here. Jeez. Well, the problem is my win condition. I am waiting on a green card, which was exactly the situation that Inu was in the last time we played, or the last time he played this.
But in essentiality, right? You're waiting for a color of green drop. I might have removed your actionable access of randomizing a green card for you.
Yep.
Or Unite's gone. I don't know if it's in your hand, but I could have removed Unite.
Ah, dang it. Ah.
Let's see if we can regenerate.
Yeah, no, actually, I do have. Because I mean, it's a friendly game, so I do actually have Unite. I'm just waiting on that. That one. Although if this hits the wrong, okay. Well, that's not great either. But let's go ahead and do this.
I seek the poet god's wisdom.
Result.
Like, out of all the losses I've ever suffered, I think Unite is the most, like, I'm okay with this for Jarl Balgruuf with full lanes and stuff, because doing both of them is really hard.
Yeah. Yep.
We must protect our stronghold.
Yeah, that's my appreciation of it as well. Goodness gracious.
Like, I'm not even remotely, like, tilted or mad when I lose to that, because I'm like, oh, you're running Unite. That's what you were doing. You weren't looking for, like, an answer or a card. You were just trying to set up for Unite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only time it missed me is there was one time where somebody actually emoted too, which, I mean, again, it's not, I'm not angry at them, but it was kind of a thing like with Inu where they actually I gave them the card they needed. I played something and they played a Marak or something and stole it and then won with that. Otherwise, I had him dead to rights, doggone it.
That's like I actually in ranked last month I beat an invade player because my battle mage, not this variant, this is Soul Shred, but my battle mage that was running in ranked last season, I drew rage. He had a gate with 40 health in one turn, which is unreal. Like, it's just dumb.
Right.
But he didn't have any guards, and he didn't have any charge, but he had lots of drain on the board. He set me up because he gave me cards. Oh, I have another shred in hand, so this is going to be...
So here I am. I got 28 cards right now.
28 minus 21.
Ooh, goodness. I have 6 cards in my hand.
You are one of us, and we are Legion.
Oh, and see, so Lich's Ascension, great because it's a purple, and that's one of the colors that was going to be hard for me to get. But, unfortunately, it also...
I might have deleted your ability to access the others.
Yeah. Well, yeah, with 6 cards left, I only have... Yeah. 0
Realistically speaking, you could have won with lethal, but we're trying to get Unite. We're trying to like show shit.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is what I mean essentially. Like even the 2 sieges are just naturally like I haven't even hit face in a long time.
Friend.
Like that alone should show you the strength of just those supports with Shred or those supports in general.
Oh, should I remove Soul Shred? Oh, maybe.
that'd be like the best answer, but
Vivek, ride my blade.
Alright, I have pretty much, what, 2 turns? Total of 5 turns possible to find a card that can pull me a green. The problem is with with Lich's Ascension, even if I find one. Ooh, that does not give me a green though.
Nords are the Empire.
Oh, but it does give me a chance.
Awaiting
Oh, I misplayed that. I could have actually. Well, I could. I'm not gonna say I could have won, but
Well, you could still win because if your lanes are full, you win.
yeah.
I have to draw a lightning bolt or something. I do not. You win off that.
Wow.
Isn't that nutty though? Like, out of everything.
Yep. Of all the ways it could go, I'm down to 3 cards in my deck. Sorry, 2.
This video is sponsored in small part by the Legendary Remnant Discord. If you want to connect with the community on a grand scale, a very active community, a very small but active community, and by small I don't mean like 5 people, I mean it's pretty big, but anyway, it doesn't matter. If you want to connect with folks, talk about your custom card ideas, see other people's custom card ideas, talk about your decks, ask other people about for feedback on your deck, or to get other decks from other people. If you want to do anything in the TESL world, come to the Discord. We do all the things. Nailed it. But the primary sponsor of this video is the 2-cost Ruler of the Meek from the brilliant mind of Yum36. This is a 2/2 card with a summon, and that summon is draw a 1-cost creature from your discard pile. Right off the jump, I will say it might be a little cheap for what it does. Bearing in mind, you've got your Gerald Forager, which is a 2-cost 2/2, and she doesn't do anything but show up. She shows up with her little berries, and she's like, oh, cool, look at me, I'm picking berries. So, if you're gonna have, but now she's a common, this is a rare, so it's 1 level up, but I think if you're gonna have it at this cost, it needs to be an epic or a legendary. Otherwise, it kind of devalues every other 2-cost 2/2 out there. Because they're not giving you anything. So, in a deck, why would you ever choose Gerald Forager when you could choose this? Granted, that's not a terrible problem. Nobody's going to really pick a Gerald Forager unless you're doing something crazy like Denise or I do, the Gerald Forager follies or what have you. But I do think maybe it needs to be a 3-cost because, and these are my caveat, usually when a card like this comes out, it means there's some nefarious intent by the creator. That means Yum Yum has some kind of crazy combo or strategy he wants to employ using this particular a summon ability, whether it's a way to tutor in Relentless Raiders, for a Crusader, deck or something. I mean, there's a ton of 1-cost creatures that are okay, or would serve a decent function, but if you can tutor them in, and this is kind of like a very limited, let's see, it's a limited but non, so I'm thinking like the Goblin Skull. It's a 3-cost 2/3, and it will draw you as many 0-cost cards as you have in your deck, on the condition that it's able to hit face. Unconditional, that's what I'm looking for. This is an unconditional but limited version of that, but with 1-cost card. And the Goblin Skulk is, as I just said, a 3-cost 2/3. The cost went up, and that's still considered to be a viable card. You don't see it played as much as when it was a 2-cost. It was a 2-cost 2/2, I believe, initially. It had more value there, and maybe you'd say, well, making this a 3-cost would make it unplayable. It really depends. What shenanigans are you looking to do with that ability to pull those 1/1s, or the 1-cost? Like I said, I'm thinking of Relentless Raider. There is, no, Gerald Forger's a 2-cost. I'm not sure what Yum Yum has in mind. I didn't see anything in the comments, and I actually didn't get a chance to reach out. I probably should. When I'm doing these, maybe I should start doing quick interviews, even if it's just texting with people, just to see what their, what their thought was when they created this, or what, because all I can do is speculate, and since it didn't come out of my brain, I'm not probably cued into exactly what crazy shenanigans this card could do. And it could be completely innocuous. Yum Yum could just be like, I don't think there's not a card out there that tutors 1-drops, so here's something that can do it. There are, though, several 1-cost and willpower. I think like there's a 2/3 guard, or a 1/1 guard, or a 0/1 guard, 1/2 guard maybe. That's a 1-cost. No, he's a 0-cost. Anyway, there's probably something there, and any people with more brilliant or attuned minds to that. Oh, you've got your 1/1. Well, there's a couple. You've got your Pilfer Kitty, the 1/1 Pilfer Kitty that when you pilfer it puts a draw 1 card version of itself in the deck. You know what I'm talking about. And I do believe the kitty that is a 1/1 that when she pilfers, it gives you an extra magic at that turn. I think she's a 1/1 as well, or 1-cost as well. So I'm thinking more in agility. I'm thinking of a lot more 1-cost. Your assassins. I want to be assassin like Nario. Your aspirant, assassin aspirant, or whatever it is. She's a 1-cost too. And so I'm thinking a lot of agility cards actually would benefit from this. You could bring a lot of them to play, but I don't think any of them are game breaking enough. I think literally if you made this an epic or a legendary, wouldn't have to be unique legendary certainly, but an epic or a legendary at that cost, you could get something out of it. Every other card, Daggerfall, The fact that it's unconditional, I think, is what gets me. Because, like, you know, Daggerfall Mage, it's a 3-cost 2/2, has a ward, which is cool, but it gives you a tome, which is really cool, but it's a 4-cost, it's somewhat mitigated by that cost, and it's conditional. If you can remove the ward, or you can kill her without removing the ward, you can execute, you can do a bunch of things to get away from that. This is, I'm going to play this card, and I automatically have a 1-cost, 1-drop in my hand, and especially if you're playing like an aggro deck, you know, that's huge, because, you know, card draws is a big deal. So, I think it's hard. You know, unfortunately, there's not a 2.5. I think 2 might be too cheap. 3 might be too expensive. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on it. I think it's overall a good card. I do think the art's a wee bit off. It kind of fits in with the art quality, but his armor is a little different than anything else I've seen in the TESL world. And the creatures behind him, they don't quite look like trolls. They don't look like goblins. They kind of look like almost like Lord of the Rings orcs. Peter Jackson's versions of them anyway. So maybe not quite TESL. Maybe it is. Maybe there's other. You know, I've only played Skyrim, so maybe there's other games in the Elder Scrolls world that this actually would apply to or is from, but at least the overall spirit of the card is great. But Yum, I definitely appreciate your mind, appreciate your thought, and putting this out there. I think it probably has some reach or some potential that I don't particularly see at this moment. But even with that said, I think particularly as I'm thinking of agility, there's a lot of really valuable 1/1 cards that you'd love to be able to summon. And there's, you know, anytime you can tutor things, it's a pretty powerful skill. That said, you know, you got your Crucible Blacksmith. Maybe I don't know, a 2-cost 1/2. So it's almost like an Ungolem type thing, or a Mudcrab Merchant. Granted, those are giving you a much higher potential. But I just think this is a Jero Forger plus an effect, and I think that requires some kind of adjustment in my mind. But maybe not. Let me know what you think. But anywho, Yum, like where your mind's at. I like the idea of it. Got my brain jogged once again. Thanks for taking a gander, and now we'll get you back to the games.
By the fires of oblivion.
Alrighty, and we are with K Fluffy NPO Friends against Lebowski42. I do recall the name Lebowski. It is a familiar name to me, Lebowski. The Miraculous. And obviously, right off the jump, we see he is playing a Slay deck. Currently in the tower, which is pretty good. It's hard. You gotta kind of remember where you're at in the season. And yeah, so we are just starting out, and he's already at the tower, which is pretty darn nifty. K Fluffy, though, hold my beer, he might say, as he is number 2 in Legends altogether. So yeah, as much as I was impressed with Lebowski's climb to the tower already, K Fluffy has made a mad dash for Legendary and is now vying for the top spot in TESL. Sorry about that. And let's see what he can do. So he's running a Mage deck, and we know, of course, it's K Fluffy. He's not running. This is not a Invade deck. But we see a Fate Weaver and Cloud Rest. That's 2.
I will not be on the wrong
those are two prophecies, but it's not a prophecy heavy list. So I'm just surprised. Fate Weaver, maybe that's just K Fluffy. That's draw power essentially.
Don't let up.
If he's more of a control deck, which when you see Dawn's Wrath, Manacora, that is definitely more control-y. And he's gonna be hard put to it with what Lebowski's got on the board right now. Oh, there's a prophecy. So yeah, this guy, the Master of Thieves is going down, and probably the keeps him alive. Oh yeah, Master of Thieves is in the Shadow Lane. So it'll be interesting to see. And that's interesting as well. I'm guessing Lebowski has the 2... Is it the 2-drop? 2... Oh, boy. That, I think it's a 2-drop that turns your pilfers into slays. I can't imagine why else we're seeing a lot of pilfers, so many pilfer cards. Although, I guess really he's basically was it. So yeah, just an interesting deck by Lebowski. And also by K Fluffy, who, like I said, I mean, I haven't seen too many, and this isn't even a, what do you call it? Support mage. So just going completely, and it'd be interesting to find out. I might ask him if we talk after this to see if this is the deck that he used for his climb. But as we see, that all of a sudden, that's the thing. When you're spectating K Fluffy, you need to be on your toes, because I don't even remember. I guess it was last turn. It just kind of sneaks up on you. He just starts doing damage. He was kind of controlling-ish, and he was, Lebowski looked like he was going to close the game off in a couple turns, and just like that, K Fluffy is on the offensive, and yeah, with Encano, 1 point off. Well, not really. He's probably going to play Incano, and then he's got Lightning Bolt to finish it off. Okay, nope. So Incano kills the 3-1. And there it is. Sets up Lightning Bolt lethal unless Lebowski can somehow drain. But holy cow, we're just seeing this is why K Fluffy is sitting at that number 2 spot. Not taking anything from Lebowski because if I'm not mistaken, he's a frequent legendary player. If I'm remembering, if it's the same person. But K Fluffy has just put on a K Fluffy clinic. And that's game. Good game, K Fluffy. My goodness gracious. Superb. Oh my gosh. All right, so we have an amazing matchup here organically. KFluffy.mpo friends against Fluffy Fries 99. It is Fluffy versus Fluffy. The Fluff is going to fly. What? Okay, I got to take a look at K Fluffy because I asked him. He said this is in response to a challenge. Okay, dual colored challenge. 10 decks, all dual color classes, playing them in alphabetical order. Archer, Assassin, Battle Mage, Crusader, etc. Oh goodness gracious. All right. That is I have never heard of a personal challenge like that before. My goodness gracious. So that is why we're seeing now Monk. We had Mage, and now we have Monk because MO comes after MA.
Like Naru.
Yeah. Big brain right here. Yeah. So that's his personal challenge. I mean, as soon as you start working alphabetical ness into it,
Watch yourself.
now you've lost me. But it's like that's like next level challenge. It's one thing to be like, hey, you know, dual attribute decks, like that's a challenge. You know, tri attribute decks, that's a challenge. Running every dual attribute deck after making a fresh list and running them like that, and then running them alphabetically. That's just crazy talk. So that's our second challenge of the day. But I mean, that's not an official challenge. K Fluffy is not laying down the gauntlet there like Tusky Crab, Krabby Tusk. Can't remember. I had a name. I had the name written out. It sounded very. Was it? I don't know. The Talking Crab. Tusk the Talking Crab.
Like Naru.
And yeah, K Fluffy just going for the face. And we see Fluffy Fries. Does he have an answer for anything? Ice Storm. Ice Storm is going to... Whew. That's going to save him. That is going to save him. K Fluffy Undaunted, more likely going to... Oh, Mournhold Trader coming down. Moratong and Bruma, I'm guessing. All of it. He is on the aggressive. So... Mournhold Trader's probably going to eat a Lightning Bolt. And then we'll probably see a... Well, wait, you can't do both. We might do East March just to contest. Okay, Palace Conspirator, that makes a lot more sense. But gets rid of... Oh, in order to keep Piercing Javelin. So he wants to keep some big removal on there. We'll see if he can stall out K Fluffy. And Fluffy Fries 99, very good player as well. Very new to the game, or relatively new into the game, I should say. Oh, another Piercing Javelin. It seems like a waste, but you know, to play it on such a small one. But when you're getting rushed down like that, you gotta play whatever you can. And you're gonna see a Lightning Bolt on the dragon. Ooh. Shadow Shifts, allowing the shifty K Fluffy to shift his way into... Alright, I'm done making bad. Not even puns, just analogies. And let's see, what is Fluffy Fries? So he's got another Hive Defender, he's got a Javelin. And he's gonna bet it on the Call Dragon. It's a big one. Not bad. A Leaf Lurker is gonna...
I shall be your eyes and
is gonna make that dragon not quite as useful, but I mean, Fluffy Fries has two great cards for that, for defense, the Shackle and the Guard and removal, and he can't play all three of them next turn if he needs to, but it looks like K Fluffy is going to just Leaf Lurker, push that 7, And or may go Shining Saint. Well, no, he doesn't have to do that.
Do not waste time chatting with me.
Okay. Complete a contract. Nothing to blow your nose at, but K Fluffy will be on turn. With 11 Magicka organically, and with no cards in hand, the Magicka aspect is really not what he's going to need to push it forward. I don't know what his end game is, but he is really going to have to fight for these last few points. Oh, razzle dazzle. Would have been great, but yeah, Fluffy Fries with these two big Hive defenders, and they are gonna confound.
Try something. You won't live to regret.
Okay, does it? Oh boy. Well, so yeah, no, that's going to be Fluffy Fries' third javelin. Takes out Razzle-Dazzle. But now he knows K Fluffy. Oh, and there we go. He's gonna start healing. He might start pulling away from this, although he is also out of cards. Oh, running out. Oh, Gray Fox. What could K Fluffy pull with Gray Fox? East March for the draw. Lightning Bolt is tempting. I mean, Call Dragon as well. So yeah, he's got. I'm guessing that's what he's thinking of. What would he pull? Okay, nope. Decides just to get rid of the drain. Not worried about the guard. I'd be interested to see. I mean, those are all great targets. The Lightning Bolt is okay. He's not going to play the Gray Fox. Interesting. Oh, you know what? I'm looking at his cards. Wait, no. I was looking at the opponent's, so... Alright.
We must protect the wellspring.
And Fluffy Fries does have the Shackle.
Serve you with every word.
That's going to keep her from getting in there. Although... Let's see, what else?
A little distraction might prove useful.
Yeah. I don't know if... Ooh. Does he want to use that? I mean, Fluffy Fries has not really overcommitted. All right, what is he going to pick? I'm curious, because I think Call Dragon is a decent enough gamble, although it's not leveled up. All right, so he just goes for the Javelin. Gets rid of the guard. Pushes the extra bit of damage. Not a bad call there. Mage's Guild. Oh, or Mage's Guild Recruit. Unfortunately, just dead cards. Really not great. He's going to need a better draw than that in order to pull this off. But Gray Fox is going to hit. Get Fluffy Fries down to 2. Man, those Mage's Guilds. I feel the pain, Fluffy Fries. I feel that. Is going to be able to put 2 guards down. Not leveling up Shouts, but also not tipping his hand. Yeah, I mean, he's putting up a defense. And the Bloody Hand Chef really... Oh, nope, I was going to say, there is a... He's getting them buffed. And no good... Oh, Fingers of the Mountain, great pull for Fluffy Fries. Let's see. Okay. All right. He's holding on. He is holding on for dear life. He's backed up against the corner.
I'll try to draw them.
And really, it's just going to come down to which one of these guys. I mean, Fluffy Fries would need some... Okay, Parthenax might get him what he needs. I mean, we haven't seen anything with Drain. So and that's really what he needs, because he can't just continue fending off K Fluffy forever. He needs... I mean, Broom of Profiteer, maybe? Is the closest thing he has. But it's not going to take K Fluffy too much to push on through.
A little distraction might prove useful.
Alright, yeah, and Fluffy Fries doing what K Fluffy does as well, and just going, okay, I need to push. Call Dragon. I mean, if that's Odaving... Nope, it's another Parthenax. Okay, that's going to be enough. So what he really was looking for there, what I think he really would have been hoping for, is the Dragon aspect. But he's got a full board now, and we're going to definitely see Dawn's Wrath. Otherwise, K Fluffy is dead next turn. Dawn's Wrath probably in the Shadow Lane. Problem is, that's all he could. Well, he can also. No, he can't. He doesn't have an execute target. All right, and let's see. Execute no good. Unrelenting force. He can get rid of. Interesting. Okay, that's just another way to go about it. And that may just do it. Wow, what a game by both players. And that'll do it. Well played. Well played to both of you. My goodness gracious.
It has been
The fluffy fight of the century did not disappoint. All right, we've got a fresh game. I'm feeling pretty lucky today. Cats are sexy. That's not a statement necessarily or judgment call. I do think they're adorable as heck. Had 15 of them when I was a kid. Not me personally. But anyway, cats are sexy against Zabla? Zabla 32? Or Zabla 32? What have we got here? Mid-range control-ish Guildsworn against what is almost most assuredly either mid-range or more than likely control tribunal. But yeah, no, we had at one point, my family, I should say, when I lived at home, back when I think it was when I was 17, was my senior year, we had 15 cats. And it all started, unfortunately, we had 2 cats for the longest time. I've talked about them before, Figgy and Newbugs. And then my mom had a cat named Prince Albert, and she loved Prince Albert quite a bit. Beautiful silver cat, blue eyes. Just a fine specimen of a cat. Perhaps the reason why folks think cats are sexy. But great guy. And my dad, unfortunately, backed over him. He was just going to work, and I think Albert had fallen asleep behind the car. And so I don't know exactly how it went down. Dad didn't know either. But accidentally, you hit him with the car. I don't think he got him fully, because I think Albert woke up. But I don't know, because once the engine started, it should have scared the heck out of him. I don't know if he tried to cross. I don't know exactly how it went down, but unfortunately there was something involving my dad, the car, and the cat. And he did not actually disclose that for a long time. Because it really, really crushed my mom. It was a crushing blow, as we would say in TESL. And eventually he did tell her later. But I mean, it was an accident. It was not an intentional thing, obviously. But he still felt horrible about it because he knew how much Albert meant. So anyway, long story short, they went to the pound to do a rescue of a cat to not replace Albert, but kind of, in a way, try to fill that void, which you never really can do because all cats are different. But as best as you could. So this is Exalt, obviously, which I'm happy to see. It's the only tribunal I find tolerable.
I'll do what I can.
And Cats has made a nice dent in Zabla 32's forces. And has a lot more cards to play, so it is not over yet. It has a Flame Lash, what is that, 1? Oh, 3 damage, okay. Don't ever see Flame Lash get that high. We'll rarely see it get that high. Usually people either silence or get rid of the guy way before he can get up above 1. But anyway, so my mom went and she saw like 2 cats and she couldn't decide. And my dad, again, feeling guilty, was like, okay, we'll get both of them. But then when she got those 2, there was another one, Pooh Bear, who was a very obese cat. He was probably 30 pounds. I mean, he was a huge cat. We called him Pooh. I don't know what his original name was. He had former owners. They were very abusive. He had been declawed, which I don't necessarily correlate the two, but between the abuse and the declawedness, he was in a bad state of affairs. Smelled horrible. But Mom, Howard went out to him, brought him back, and within a day, I mean, his smell was gone. And he was looking spry, and aside from him trying to dry hump my sister's stuffed animals and looking very guilty when we walked in on him doing so, Pooh Bear was a fantastic cat. He did pass away probably 5 or 7 years later, but fantastic cat. Anyway, it just kind of snowballed, and then I brought in Ellen, who was a black cat that was behind the church that I was going to, and I was back there trying to he dropped something off or whatever, and had the back door open, and she jumped in. And at the time, half her head was burned off. I mean, not her head, but like her fur and everything. Like you could see, it was just red, like, you know, sinew and stuff like that. She'd been severely burned, and she was emaciated, like the opposite of Pooh Bear. She was like bones, bag of bones. So rescued her. I mean, I would have had to have physically kicked her out of my car if otherwise. So I brought her home, and turned out she was pregnant. And so in my room under my desk, she gave birth to a little Dandruff. Well, I call them Dandruff. He's a little white cat, white kind of tiger cat with blue eyes, and then Loaf. I called him Loaf, but my sister called him Samson. He just looked like a loaf. He looked like a little loaf of bread. Just kind of brown, and anyway.
I know you're out there.
All right, so Zablo just really making a big push, trying to close it down in one turn. Cats Are Sexy does not have a lot of answers. That Flame Lash is going to come in handy. Telvas and a Feed, I'm guessing, are going to be the plays here. No, okay, all right, well, could still be the plays.
Perhaps we can help one
But I think Feed on the 5/5. Oh, it could be, okay, oh, holds on to it. Correctly identifying, I hit panic mode for a second there, but identifying that even though Zabla has a pretty wide board, it's not a very beefy board. Oh, and that is going to be fantastic.
For the temple. I know you're
Abner Tharn, not really a great target other than the card draw. He could use East March Crusaders' ability. He certainly can't use the Exalt. It doesn't work that way. But yeah, I think Cats Are Sexy is going to pull this one out handsomely. It's very rare you see Tribunal put all their cards out there, and Sabla, ranked number 9. Again, you have players like myself who have been playing for a while, who are in higher ranks because they stopped for a while. But he could also be kind of new to the game. Could have also just been a little bit of frustration. I mean, if these are the cards that he had in his hand, he could have held on to them for years and it wouldn't have made a difference. I think he was kind of forced into it just because he didn't really have any viable options. And that's why Exalt, as much as I love it, you have to be very sparing with it, because when you go heavy, which for all we know, Zabla could be doing a quest and just needs all the Exalt triggers, but he had some in there that I would say probably there are better cards to help round out the deck. You can still have Exalt as a mechanic, but you can't lean into it fully.
Speak, citizen.
I must apologize.
All right, so not sure what the
My thanks.
fly like the wind and the shadows.
I'm guessing the apology was just for, okay, I've got 9 drain on the board now, which is once again going to turn the tides of battle. And the thing is, he can't even Firebolt Flame Lash the 6/6, which would be probably what he wants to do. We might see a Night to Remember on the Telvas Magistrate to do that, and then ping the 2/1, Firebolt the 2/1. Okay, I was thinking if he did that, then one of the 2 drains would have to hit a warded face, which meant they would not get any drain out of it. Provided Zabla did not get that. Which, I mean, it still would have been the same. One of them would have hit with no effect. Alright, so a bit of a stay of execution. So all of a sudden, the tides have turned. Okay, alright, so... Oh, wow. Wow. Alright, and a Firebolt to the 8/2, yep. And may even Lightning Bolt to 4/4. I mean, he stays alive regardless, or right now his aspect stays alive. But yeah, as we saw before, that you have the cards that can buff up the lane.
I am a mirror.
Ooh, and there's a heck of a top deck for Zabla, which, let's see, can he Abner that? I don't think he can Abner that, because that's not a summon effect. Ooh, Supreme Dragon. This is just one up. It reminds me of the Butter Battle book, the Dr. Seuss Butter Battle book. which is essentially was a kind of a not so veiled metaphor. I think I even figured it out when I was in middle school for the arms race, particularly the nuclear arms race. But that Supreme Dragon was just doesn't change that, but does allow him to hit for 9. But no drain here, and I mean that's well again. Oh, okay, that's why he did it. Good call on his part. Supreme Dragon now unable to nerf that down, but doesn't really matter. We might see fingers. I mean, Vanis would be great, but he doesn't. He needs a low cost. Well, if he had that one extra ring charge, he could do Vanis and a Night to Remember, but he cannot. So I doubt we'll see Vanis come down here. I think we'll see Fingers. But Fingers isn't even enough to get rid of TESL, who is kind of the big deal. And Night to Remember would take Supreme Dragon out of the lane he needs to be in. It's going to be tight because TESL is going to spawn an 8/8 that Cats does not necessarily have an answer for. But I think we will see Fingers. Yeah. Alright, so Fingers now 0 cost. Lots of removal. He's going to hit for 3. And barring a prophecy, a javelin or something, he will. Oh boy. Oh boy. I mean, Zabla has just been drawing crazy good, and that might be the game. Yeah. Unless Firebolt is a stay of execution. So Aspect trades with the 8/8. Dragon trades with TESL. And Firebolt takes away lethal.
A few drinks, a few laughs, and a cut.
Okay, uses it. Okay, so he's going to take away the 5/3. It still leaves him dead to Lightning Bolt, but if he pokes for face here, oh, that's just a 1. 0. Oh boy, that's a bummer. That's a bummer. Okay. Wow, good game. Good game. Nicely done. Cats are sexy. Ooh. Would have hit with Tharana and just to avoid the prophecy, but you know. All right, and he's going to go out with style there. Vanis. Well done, Zabla. Well played. Good sport. Catcher sexy. Good victory. Holy cow. Hey, once again, coming right in at the beginning of the game, Aros NPO against Nycthelion. Nycthelion? I think that's how you pronounce it. Just was given congratulations to Catcher sexy. Says he got lucky. I mean, that's part of it. I mean, you really had to play well. I mean, you all have seen me play. You know you can punt games that you otherwise could win, or you can play less optimally and lose a game that you could have won had you played more optimally. And I think Catcher Sexy played it as optimally as he could, and then just got okay. So Aros said he's just put this deck together 10 minutes ago and has already got a rage quit or rage concession from his opponent. Did we just see? Did this actually trigger? It did. Well, things are going better for Aros than most other people who run the Stubborn Goat or the Billy Goat or Obstinate Goat, I guess. Usually when that card comes out, no matter how many animals you got in your deck, somehow the Obstinate Goat will whiff. Even though it's a physical impossibility, the goat will whiff. It's very bizarre.
God's wisdom.
And wow, that's the second time we've seen this card is not often played, even in Exalt decks. I'm not saying it's a bad card. I mean, 2 for 2 with Drain is not bad. It's just not one I see a whole lot. Did I do that or did? Okay, I did that. Oh, okay. All right, so we'll see what Aros's Animule deck can do and see if it successfully takes on Nycthelion's What's interesting there? So Aros is playing an animal deck, and Icthelion is a friend to animals. So in theory, he should just concede as soon as he saw the billy goats come down in the mud crab. I mean, you got it. I mean, they're animals. If you're friendly, you don't want to hurt the animals. But this is real life. And Conjure Spirit. So now we know what he is running and why we see a drain, that 2/2 drain. He's probably got a ton of drain, and he's hoping to continue to spawn those puppers, which is kind of I mean, animal deck. This animal deck is aggro. Most animal decks are, just because of how the animals are wired. I think maybe Brave had a version of animals that was mid-range, but usually, again, they're very aggressive. And so a deck that has a ton of drain is going to be a bit antithetical to what Aros is trying to do, which is take away his opponent's health. I mean, the opponent fictional. You know what I'm saying. He's going to hit him in the face, but not his real face. I want to make that very clear. There will be no striking of the face, legitimately here. And I do apologize. I'm going to need to. I'm gonna have to have this one be the last game. I'm very excited seeing everybody mix it up, but I definitely wanted to get news of Crab's tournament out there, and I won't have time tomorrow to do really any editing or pretty much anything to do with video making. So for this to come out Friday, I pretty much have to call it after this game, get the files transferred, get this edit put together, and go. So my hope, my plan had been we'd have the Tusk kind of at the beginning, for about about a third of the video or so, and then bring in some content afterward. But looks like it's gonna be about 50-50, which is fine. Because I know the games between Tusk and I were not incredibly, they were there more to show, in principle, what decks could do. They weren't so much about playing to win, which I know for some of you may not be incredibly interesting, but we're just kind of trying to just talk about the deck and talk about the idea behind it, and then wanted to provide some competitive games for you to watch afterward. So I do apologize for the brevity of this, but I do think it's exciting to have this tournament in the works, and hopefully all got the juices going already and you're thinking about stuffs that you can do. That Feasting Vulture, man, that's been huge. Well, it gets huge because creatures died, which is weird because the card looks like the Vulture is dead. Okay, draw. There it is. I told you, man. This is an animal deck. Now, granted, we see Defensive Bruma. Really, that's it. A Night to Remember. So there's probably like 5 actions in the deck, and the Obstinate Goat went back to its true form, its true nature of just whiffing like a champ. Stupid goat. But yeah, that kind of looks like the Vulture itself is dead. Oh no, okay, never mind. I thought that was the ground behind it. It was kind of like laying like this, but clearly no, it's alive and it is pecking at, well, a rib cage. It's a beautiful golden color. Vultures are usually black or gray with a tuft of white and then this reddish pink neck. There are many different kinds of vultures, and we are in Skyrim, so they can be whatever they want to be, but just not something you typically see. But this has turned into a pretty tense, pretty. Oh my gosh, words fail me. A contest. It is quite contested. Aros not quite able to build up enough of a board to make like something like Defensive Bruma a killing blow. The Shadow Green Elder is going to be pretty helpful in covering the ground. I'm ending the game. Or getting close to it. I think it's +2/+2. Yeah. So that's 6, 7, 13, 18. Gets his opponent down to 7. Oh, well, then, of course, I forgot about the Bruma, so probably gets him down to much less than 7. Like 4? Well, it would have been 4 were it not for a javelin. That actually would probably be better than what's her face, the Oreo cookie girl.
Here we make our stand.
That's essentially a bolt. Boy, it's rough. I mean, lucky for Andy, his cards are super huge now, and they're going to require trade-ins unless Nick Thalion has another way to buff them up. Hey, Ross, looking pretty good. Enraged mud crab, if not mistake. Oh, that is just a mud crab. But that is enraged. It is not the 3/2 that pokes you for 1 in the face. Yeah, the prophecy definitely did him dirty. Oh, he wanted a knight to remember his Spriggan, which would have been amazing. That's why he's running it. So there you go. Again, I'm not even tracking with all the stuff in here. Here's the thing, though. Nick Thalion's going to have to get rid of his Bruma. But, of course he will. He's not going to leave that 6/6 on the board. But yeah, that would have been pretty cool. A knight to remember on the Spriggan. That's a good play. I don't think I've ever seen that in animal decks.
They'll move along if they don't want
Ooh, sucks harder. Boy, oh boy.
I'll promise your death.
Oh, there goes Spriggan. See what tricks Andy has up his sleeve to close this out. Okay. Guar Stable Master. Guard. A Guard Stable Master. Good thing he has that star-sung Bard. Well, I'm wondering if he would hit the Vulture with the Ravenous Crocodile. I mean, he might, because if he tries to, well, I mean, we keep his 4/4 alive. I don't know. That's a hard call. Because we know he's going to lose the Vulture anyway. The question is, does he lose it to a 4/4 or 2/2? And yeah, I mean, Nick Thalion up to 20 health. That's something else to consider too. He is no longer on the threshold, the precipice of defeat. And A-Ross does do it. Okay. Oh, nice.
What could be better?
Now he's got a nice lane. Okay, so Dawn's Wrath might be the end of the game if that is in fact what happens. We got 9, 14 damage in the shadow lane. Nick Thalion, healthy amount of cards. Does Starsung Bard, does she have any attack power? Okay, 2/3. She is immune to silence, which is actually very fitting. That's very in lore, makes sense kind of thing. Our hero has a warrior's heart. She has kind of stubby fingers, though. It's my only complaint. I think her fingers should be a little longer. But I mean, I couldn't draw her any better. It looks really good. It's a really nifty looking drawing. She looks like she's related to Giggles.
Nothing gets past me.
That's canon now, by the way. Starsung Bard and Giggles are sisters. Reflective Automaton. I don't know what A-Ross's end game is. I'm guessing he's got Tazcad. So my rendition was just as good, if not better. I think you all would agree. But I think that is probably the second or third time I've ever seen the Bard come down. Yeah, that prophecy. That prophecy mattered, one might say. Hey, Andy? Yeah, no, that definitely did. It screwed up the plan. Which is why I typically don't have a plan when I play this game, because making plans makes for frustrating moments, but also makes for some great moments. And I think Andy's and many others, who do plan and who do build these decks with multiple, plays and interactions in mind, their win rate testifies that it's actually behooves you to play the game that way versus the way I do, which is focus on the turn, play the turn. Oh, Cliff Racer, he's going to ring it out. He will. And trade with the Vulture. No. Okay, chooses to take... Yeah, no, you're right, Andy. That's a good call. That is a really good call. Though, to be honest, it's probably not one I would have thought of. Oh! Well, I said ooh. I mean, it's not insignificant, but it's not... And another prophecy, Nicthelion, man. Just really... Boy. Oh, geez, and it had to be a health. Oh, boy. This is a grindy game. I'm suppose I would not be surprised if Andy's just kind of crying. Not because he's not playing well, just because it is just such a laborious thing with these prophecies and the health game. Like I said, it's antithetical to what he's trying to do. Which, I mean, it's antithetical to what any aggro deck is trying to do. I'm not saying anything brilliant, obviously, but I mean, animals don't have a ton of... They don't have a lot of the weapons or synergies that some of the other decks do. Aggro decks, that is, like your Gobos and even your Orcs. So they're really just hit face as much as possible. I'm guessing, though, that he has Cliff Racers. Well, of course he does. Duh, his opponent just brought one back. So, and he says he can feel the loss in his heart already. Thing is, Nicthelion's going to have to hit him at some point. Well, hit him 4 more times. Break 4 more runes.
See you later.
My brain is failing me. I'm very hungry and very tired. And there are miles to go before I sleep. Oh, another one. Yeah, Andy, I'm getting that sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach as well. Oof. Just too much drain.
The Night Mother will guide us.
We'll rebuild Skyrim.
Alright, well, he's going to have to hit.
I did warn them.
Okay, he does have a Taz, as you said. And will he top deck it? Because that's the win. Okay, no. He's not... It's not over yet. No more prophecies for Nick. And Gray Fox is probably going to die here. I mean, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of another. I might have hit the Riften Lawkeeper. Oh, so I think maybe Aros is thinking about his outs. Like, okay, so he's playing to his outs. That 4, he wanted the damage more than wanted to remove damage from the board. Which, let's see, that's 8, 9, 10, 14, 16, 19. I mean, it does leave him within a Gavel or a Dawnbreaker, or a Dawnstar, or Dawnbreaker, I think. Okay, no lethal on this turn. Come on, Betsy. Betsy. Who's Betsy? Is Tazcat called Betsy now? What crazy terminology are you using here, Andy? Ooh. Well, if Betsy is a piercing javelin, there goes the card draw. So, hoping to deprive Nick of even more options. Although I'd say with 11 Magicka, he probably doesn't need a ton. So yeah, okay, that's why he did it. Cliff Racer. I think that's his Betsy. And Nicthelion's not going to hit anymore. Nick made me to be a liar. I'm not terribly happy with Nick right now. But he's not going to hit anymore after that. Because he has lethal on board.
I did warn them.
Okay. Well, it doesn't matter because he is...
They won't even see my blade coming.
Yeah, so... Yeah. Oh. Does that save him? I don't think it does. Nope. He has just enough on the board to do it. Ah, boy. Sorry, Andy. That was well fought. Well fought. The snake was good, just not good enough. And yeah, the javelin to the crab. And, I mean, two prophecies were what it took. But Aros has...
See you later.
No javelin there, and that's going to be the game.
It has been an engaging
Only with
hunt.
hindsight. Yep.
You fight well.
All right, come on, Nick. Yeah, there's no need for that, buddy. It was a long game as it was. And that's going to do it, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Again, start thinking of ways to shred for the bread, as it were. And yeah, look forward to seeing what you all come up with. Great games to everybody who we saw play today. I want to thank Tusk again for pushing through that migraine to get his part of the video done. But then also thanks to K Fluffy and Fluffy Fries, A-Ross, and Cats Are Sexy for the great games that we saw. Hope I didn't leave anybody out. That would be awkward. But if I did, it's not because I don't love you. It's just because my brain is fried. Anyway, thank you all for playing. Thank you for watching. And until next time, keep playing.